brand new week, and I've dashed down here today. It's a little bit late in the morning, but I've got a job to do. The steel's due to arrive any time now, and I dashed away from the job that quick last week. I forgot, I spoke about it, but we didn't cut the slot in the side of Heath House. So I've kind of got to get myself ready for when this steel arrives, because these are big sheets. Oh, shit, enjoy your trip. So this is where the steel's going to go in, around about here somewhere. We'll measure up from the inside, put a hole through here probably so I can see. The steel's going to come here, which means this I've got to move, and probably this. Maybe if we put the steel here, lean it here for the time being, then I can slide a piece round and get it in through the slot when I've done it. Right, let's move this first of all. Fence sections here. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Scrap steel needs to go. So I think we're about as tidy as we're going to get. So tidied up out here, nice clean space, ready to try and get this steel stood at the side of Heath House. Let's go and have a look inside and see where we're going to cut this slot. There's power cables and all sorts in the way. So you can probably see, got a light switch here, got some power cables. That's not going to be good, is it? I'd like to have brought it in about here, we've got this in the way. It's probably going to have to be about here. So let's mark a vertical here and then we'll start clearing up the wiring. I need a slot from here vertically. I can kind of eye it up. It's going to sort of come through there. So to most of you, this looks like a ratchet strap, but to me, it's a plumb. Whee! I don't have much in the way of woodworking tools at the moment, but what I do have is I have a grinder and a cutting disc, which brings me on to people's opinions about the cutting discs. And I formulated my own conclusion. Most of what was provided was anecdotal though. Nobody provided me with any engineering papers or anything like that. Somebody did mention, very good suggestion, that I speak to the disc manufacturer However, just not that important, I don't think. And the reason I don't think it's that important, because if it was, there'd be a lot more information out there. So my personal thoughts are it probably doesn't make a great deal of difference, not significant difference. However, I think the overriding opinion from people who seem to be in the know was that the label goes down, or less the label, more the compression disc, the reinforcement disc that goes to the drive side of the grinder. There we go. I'm doing it that way. You can moan and complain all you like. Unless you provide me with an engineering paper now to show that we were all wrong, we're doing it like that. Looks like you were right, Simon. Right, so I've just heard from Jim. He's on his way with the steel. I've got the slot cut out. It's not the neatest of slots, but it'll do. Doesn't have to be neat. I don't think I get the approval from Simon and Gemma for the accuracy of my work, but nevertheless, hope the steel will go in through there. The bad news is, Jim's has said to me, these steel sheets are 250 kilograms each, quarter of a ton. And I'm not even sure we get them off the lorry. He's asking me how we're going to get them off the lorry. I don't know. Got some muscle. If you want to come down and give me an hand, get yourselves down here now. Right. I'll see you when he turns up. This is fun. So what I'm hoping, I don't know whether, I'm hoping it'll just slide down and stand. Two together is not going to be possible. We'll try one. Oh, it doesn't even move.
Hey, Sean.
Hi, Jamie. I hope I'm not disturbing you. I'm down at the marina at the boat.
Yeah.
I've got some steel that's been delivered.
Right.
And there's me and this little delivery bloke, and we can't get it off the bloody lorry. It's too heavy. And I didn't know whether you knew any guys down here who could come down and give us an hand for 10, 15 minutes just to slide it off the truck and put it up against the side of the boat.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. What about try phoning the pier head?
Pier head.
Well, you're not far. If you could walk over to the pier head there, Sean. From
yeah, up in the control tower.
Yeah. And have a word. I'm not sure. It could be Bertie in there today.
All right.
But they're normally pretty good there. But you could try asking them.
Yeah. All right, mate. Jim, I'll be 5 minutes. I'm just going to speak up there. Hello, is that Neil? David Steeler here with some steel plate for me. I got some bigger stuff this time. We can't get it off the back of the bloody truck. It's too heavy. Normally we just manhandle it off, but these are big sheets. And I wondered if you could hire us the telehandler for half an hour just to get these sheets off. And thank you for your help. All right, we'll see you soon. Brilliant. All right, thank you, pal. Cheers now. Bye-bye. Right. Telehandler's on its way. Right, all sorted. Big thanks to Gareth, the telehandler man. Did a good job there, Gareth.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Good job. We're almost in. We didn't quite get it all the way in because there was no more space for the strap on the telehandler. I'm going to have to block and tackle it in. Yesterday was a big day, and I hope you haven't missed it because sadly I had that glitching problem with the camera again, and half the footage from yesterday was ruined. So we'll see what we can salvage because it was a big day and there was a lot of good stuff to be seen. I think it might be the memory card, so I've got a brand new memory card in today, but fingers crossed we don't get any more hassle, otherwise you get no videos. The issue is it doesn't just glitch, but the editor won't play it. So it takes me a lot of messing around to get the footage into a state that the editor will accept, and it misses loads of frames. Hopefully it's just a memory card issue. Anyway, this is where we got to. My letterbox in the side of Heath House. These pieces of steel are 250 kilograms each, 1/4 of a ton each. And there's 1/2 ton's worth of steel here. And we had a lot of hassle trying to get it into Heath House because it was too heavy to manhandle, and I optimistically thought we could. So we ended up having to get the telehandler, and Gareth came down, thank you Gareth, and helped out. Right, let's get inside. Can you see me? Can you see me now? Right, there's a lot more hassle now getting in to put the lights on. I've got to get round the steel to go and put the lights on. But here, behind me, you probably can't see where I am, but it's 1/2 ton's worth of steel. Let me go and see if I can get the lights on. Round the back of the steel. Huh. Wow, this is going to be a challenge indeed. Right, lots to do today. It's afternoon already. Had some things to do this morning, so half the day's gone already, but I've got lots of jobs to be getting on with. The first thing I need to do is I need to be able to get my fat belly round this piece of steel that stuck out, so I need to lop that off. Right, the next thing I need to do, Robbie can't see me, but that doesn't matter. This chain's got to go because that's going to get in the way of the new steel. If I release this, this plate will go back down and out of place. So I'm just going to put on a weld here to allow this to hold this plate into position. That didn't work out too well. Just started. I need the welding for everything today, and I've just run out of wire. So I've just ordered some on Amazon. I could go and fetch some, but it's by the time I've driven into the town that sells it and come back, I'll have wasted hours anyway. So I've ordered it from Amazon. That's coming tomorrow. That's kind of held the job up a little bit because we were wanting to weld some tabs onto this steel so we can start moving it around. So the steel's going to be going in here above my head. A couple of things I'm going to need. The first thing is I'm going to need some support poles because this is heavy steel, and if we're going to be working around it, it needs to be very secure. So we need to be very careful. The second thing is I need my block and tackles to actually do some manoeuvring. They're inside the boat. It's a bit of a challenge, so I'm just going to go in now and get the block and tackle. Come on, Fatty. The next thing I need to do is I need somewhere to fasten these chain blocks to that'll help move the steel and lift it up. I'm hoping we can use some kind of web strapping. We can wrap around the top there and then I can connect the chain block to the web strapping. Same at that side. So we've got two places to block and tackle from. That strap then, that's not for lifting, that's just a security strap. Enough to hold it temporarily. I wouldn't do any lifting from this ladder. So that's just in case anything falls. We've got another strap there to act as security, and I'm going to put a fourth one on as well. Get another strap out of the van. Those will be belt and braces. Hey, don't want any dramas in here. Well, the next thing we need to do is measure up where we're going to put the lifting eyes, because we want the lifting eyes to be in the right position so that as we jack upwards, it also slides the steel sideways, because we've yet to get it in through the post box on the side of Heath House. And we also want it to be kind of in the middle as well, so that we're equally balanced, so that we can pivot this and get it flat up here, about where my head is. I think the first thing to do then is find the center. I know this is 4 meters by 2 meters, so that should make it easy if it's been cut right. I'll check it is 4 meters. I've got a 4 meter tape. Ooh, that's a bit wider than 2 meters, look. Extra steel. Right, that's exactly why you measured twice. I measured it again, double checking, and look, I got it wrong. It wasn't there. When I took the measurement, I said the numbers wrong in my head. It was, I said 115, but it was 1015. And I halved 115, gave me the wrong number. So good job I rechecked, hey? So that's the right place. And I've measured top and bottom just to be double sure. So next I'm just going to find the width between the supporting blocks, the pulley blocks, and then we'll know where to put the eyes. Just draw a line about central, about there. About there. That's roughish, but it'll do. Okay, 159. Measure twice. 159. 159 both ways. Okay, so I've just marked that line in to make it easier. And 79.5 is where the lifting eye should be. Put that there, put that there, 79.5, that's there. For across. And do the same on the other side. Okay, next job. While we're lopping things off, let's cut this off here. Get through these like butter. Right. There's that mouse hole again. Bigging out to a few jobs off camera, again behind your back, just little jobs, you won't be interested. I am glad though that we ran out welding wire in a way. Maybe not, because I did want to start getting the lifting eyes on here and start moving it around, but because I nearly made the mistake of welding that hull in that corner, I think the best thing to do is just forget about the exact position of this hull down below here for now. Get the bathing platform in, because the bathing platform is just flat and it's going to be easier to sort of find the level that we want with a flat piece of steel. And once we've done that and we've got that into the position that we want it, then I can take measurements from that to the hull and make sure we get it completely symmetrical. So I'm going to leave this hull alone for the time being and concentrate on this bathing platform, and then we can get everything perfect down below a little bit later. Okay, because there's no welding wire, another early day for me. I'm going to go back home to my beautiful bride, and I don't know, we'll see you tomorrow. Now, you think it would be the morning after the last time we spoke, but sadly not. I said to you I had to order the welding wire, which I've got. And I ordered it on Amazon, and I could have gone it's about 6 miles away and bought some welding wire, but I thought, do you know what? I'll get it delivered by Amazon in the morning, and they usually turn up between 10:30 and 12. And I thought, if they turn up at 12, I'll have a morning off for a change, because it's nice to have a little bit of time at home. Always seem to be busy between the boat and work. Well, if I'd have known that the company I bought this wire from, who did rapid dispatch, which is what they said, if I knew they used Every, I wouldn't have bothered. I was lucky it turned up at all with Every, but it turned up at 5 o'clock. So it's actually about 5:30 in the evening. And I'm normally going home at this time, and now I've got some work to do. Anyway, we've got this steel to get in. Let's job on, we'll be here late. Let's get some lights on. I'm here to the side of the steel. Boom, there we go. Right, first of all, let's load up with the new Amazon welding wire. I hope it's any good. I've switched the welder as well to manual settings. I'm going to see if we get on any better. I've been fighting these automatic settings for a while now. Now I'm an expert welder. Let's go to the expert mode, which is manual. The rebels here in East Street Turf. Oh, I scratched it. Look at that. Okay, so I've ground up 4 of the lifting eyes, all 4, all ready to go. I thought I'd make sure they were nice and clean because these are going to be quite important welds. Normally what I do when I put lifting eyes on is I just kind of weld on one side, and the reason behind that is it's easy just to break the weld when we take them off. But I think given the weight of this steel and the potential for disaster, I'll weld on both sides and then we'll deal with getting them off later. Much rather do that and stay safe. So let me get these welded into position. Right, turn the Y speed up. Let's see if this makes any difference. There's a safety hook. So we'll start seeing if we can move this thing into position. There's 2 pieces of plate behind me, by the way, not just 1 piece of plate. So my safe position is going to be behind the other piece of plate. Right, let's get on. Wish me luck.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may. Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep.
The problem has been one of height. I've got a cross member that goes across the top. Used to have the light on there, if you remember, and that was in the way. I've kind of sacrificed that. I haven't taken it down. I was hoping I could get past it, but I've just let that push out the way and break. But the other problem I've got is that strap that's up there. That's the thing holding Heath House to the back of the boat. And we're pushing that up and we're going to end up doing some damage. I can't see what's going on in there. So I might have to release that strap. That's a bit awkward. What I'm going to try and do first, though, is I've been using this to lift up from this side because it's been coming up a bit wonky. I really want this to come forwards. That'll give us a little bit more play on the top, but we also need it to come forwards, not far to go now, to come over the back of the boat. I think the main problem is this other piece of steel. It's wedged in here from the door, and that's preventing this from tipping backwards because the boat's in the way. This needs to be back here a bit more so we've got a better angle, then we can get this in. So I'm going to have to slide this steel in.
Let's have a toast for those lost old eyes. And my crooked little heart that seems so rebellious is falling apart right now. I'm bleeding, an easy kill, gonna leave it all behind. I think it's time for me to go.
Clambered aboard the stern. Don't worry, this is out of the danger zone. If this falls, it can't fall forwards because of these behind me. So this is a safe area for all those that get concerned. What I'm trying to do is just ratchet the bottom in now. It's up high enough, but it's not quite tilting the way I hoped it would because of these things at the stern. They're kind of pinning it back. So it needs a bit of pull to leave it that way. But when I pull this bottom, I need to relax the chains a bit to let it drop backwards. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Wish me luck. It's pretty hot work at the moment. I'm roasted. It's black outside, it's late. We're this far, We're almost in. What's stopping it is these sides of the boat. You can see it's a bit awkward. It weighs too much to push it up to swing and come into this slot here that I cut at the top. So what I need to do now is I'm going to cut this back of the boathouse. It's going anyway. So I'll cut that out so we can get this in easier. But I'm not going to do that now. It's late. I'm going home again. Oh no!